Hey folks, welcome to the show. My name's Gary. Over here to my left is my brother Chris. And this is my brother's joint. How you doing, brother?
Not so bad, Ed. Welcome back, buddy.
How's it going?
Ah,
The
pretty
man
good,
in
man.
blue.
You are in blue tonight. Holy fuck. A sip of tea there, perfect. Oh.
Hey,
Well,
got the
boys.
cafe.
As usual, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're hard on the coffee all the time, though. I think you are like made of coffee. You probably like don't have blood.
Do you poop coffee beans?
Just coffee.
I don't know. I never tried.
Can you imagine?
You never tried pooping coffee beans?
No, I never tried my poop to see if it tastes like coffee beans.
Oh, gross. It's supposed to look like it, not taste like it, Ed. Fuck. Oh. So I watched the fights last weekend with Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders.
You got every belt in the world now? Or?
Not yet. He's got one left to get, and that's the IBO belt, I believe. But he did take Billy Joe Saunders' belt. I think it was the 8th or 9th round. God, I can't remember. He hit him with an uppercut as Billy was ducking and weaving. And caught him right here. Fractured his orbital bone. They finished the round. He went back to his corner, and his corner waved it off, basically handing the belt to Canelo. I mean, not handing, obviously. I don't mean it in the sense that he didn't earn it, but
you're not going to keep fighting with that, man.
Fuck, man. You'd want to, though.
Not unless you're Johnny.
You'd want to. If you're... I think I would be upset if I was the champ, like Billy Joe Saunders was in that division. I wouldn't be upset if I wasn't the champ, but
not as much. No.
I would feel like I had handed him the belt.
Yeah, wasn't a complete fight.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd want to do that. But his eye was swollen up too, and it was cut on the bottom eyelid, so he couldn't really see out of it. So it's probably the smart choice to do because live to fight another day, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Survive, come back, take the rematch, and
yeah, rather than keep going, make it worse, go blind in one eye permanently.
Exactly, right? Which happens to a lot of boxers. Vision is one of those things that,
man.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the only guy he's got left now is Caleb Plant, and then he unifies the 168 division super middleweight. I don't know if that fight's going to happen too quick, though. I don't think Caleb Plant is chomping at the bit to fight Canelo Alvarez at all, because that guy's got something that other
and it's
people
tricky
don't have.
too, right? Because you're to come in and fight a guy like that who's just been cleaning up and is just fresh off a win of another belt.
Yeah,
he's going to have so much momentum and so much confidence behind him.
Well, that's the biggest thing in a fight like that. When you're going against somebody like that, it does hurt your confidence because you're fighting somebody who's just been, on fire.
Yeah,
and of course, the person that's on fire, they get a big confidence boost, and that makes a big difference in a fight.
Huge.
The scary thing about Canelo is when you watch him fight, he literally walks in there like he's already won the fight. Like his body language,
just formality,
is so different than any other boxer I've ever seen. Like he's calm all the time, and he just does his thing. And even when because Billy Joe Saunders fought a good fight, like you could have made an argument if they would have stopped that fight at 8 rounds and said, let's take it to a decision. You could have made an argument for Billy Joe Saunders that he won that fight because he was working all the time. Yeah. He wasn't landing the hard shots like Canelo was, but he was putting up numbers, right? And he was always busy. So, to stay calm, even though you might be losing on points, is real hard to do.
Yeah.
And not
keeping that cool, man.
Especially by the time you get into the 8th and 9th round, you go, okay, well, if I don't win the next 3 or 4 rounds, I could lose the fight. So I either have to win those rounds by being aggressive or I have to knock them out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of boxers lose
limited.
Yeah, and they lose their composure and they start swinging hard to get that knockout. But he just calm. He's like, I'm going to win this. It'll come. He'll get that right hand and he'll go to sleep. You're like, fuck me. Boy, in this case, break his face.
Yeah.
Apparently, Canelo went back to his corner and said, he's not coming out in the next round. I just broke his cheek.
You'd feel
Like,
it.
he felt them. It crack.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's a punch, buddy.
From a guy who weighs 168 pounds?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With a padded glove.
He's got bombs, though.
Yeah.
Like real bombs. I think he hits harder than anybody in the super middleweight division.
Well, if he's breaking eyes.
Bombs, brother. Bombs. Insane.
Well, brother, I got some bad news for you. For me,
Uh-oh.
well, for me mainly.
Well, that's not good. What's the bad news?
Hunting in Ontario.
Let me sit down for this.
What's that?
You already are sitting down.
I know.
So nobody in Ontario is allowed to buy a license to hunt anything until they have lived in Ontario for 6 full months.
Wait.
That's what it takes to be considered a permanent Ontario resident.
So you can't hunt till next season.
Pretty much, yeah. I can come with you. I can do everything else, but I can't physically hunt the animal. I can't shoot and kill an animal.
Well, that may not be a bad thing.
No.
Because I think the only thing I'm ready to go after is some geese and some turkeys.
Yeah.
I think...
I mean, lots of filming to do anyway.
Well, that's true, yeah. But I think deer-wise and anything else, like that's going to take some research. And I've never hunted a deer, right?
No.
So I don't really know how to do it. I assume turkeys are not that much different than, like geese and shit like that. Like decoy them, call them.
They're easier.
The only difference is
they don't fly.
They don't fly in, like they'll strut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when it's that time of the season, they're dumb as rocks.
Yeah, they're like a bull moose in October.
Yeah, when they're fired up. Yeah.
Pussy?
Yeah.
You make the right call.
Yeah.
You make the right call. They literally walk past the hunter to try to get to that call.
Oh yeah, they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, so maybe it's not so bad to start out with one thing at a time anyway. Like,
yeah.
Plus, there's time constraints on everything. Like,
yes,
can you really turkey hunt and deer hunt and moose hunt and black bear hunt and
work
and
Chris,
do life things and.
No, Chris, have you even hunted in Ontario yet since you've been living up?
No, that's what I'm saying,
well,
right?
There you go. You almost need some time for the two of you to actually get out there, see where to go,
do some
figure it out.
Like I've done some scouting and stuff like that of like farmland and stuff and I've wrote down a few places like to knock on some doors and ask because I've seen turkeys in the field or deer or whatever. But I mean, there's nothing saying that they're going to let us in the field either.
Yeah.
I'm sure
some will.
Some will. I mean, most farmers most farmers don't like fucking geese shitting all over their field, so we can handle that problem for them. But so I mean, sucks, but not a big deal.
Some good news. I have decided, I finally figured it out. The exact truck I need.
What's that?
Well, I want like a late 20 teens.
Yeah.
So like a 17 or 18. F-150, extended cab, but with the 2.7.
Yeah, that's a good motor.
365 horsepower, 410 feet torque.
Yeah.
Still tows 8,500 pounds, 2,200 in the dump. For what I'm going to do, that's more than enough capacity-wise.
What the fuck else are you towing?
And it still gives me the full size of the truck, like the full width and everything.
Yeah, a full-size pickup.
Yeah.
But I mean,
don't get me wrong. The Ford Ranger tows 7,500 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? Which is only 1,000 pounds less.
Yeah.
But it's
a half-size pickup, though.
It's small.
Yeah.
Tiny.
But like mine tows 12,500 pounds.
Yeah.
But what in the fuck are you towing that weighs that much?
Us, nothing.
Well, yeah.
Right?
People, I mean, there's campers and stuff you can get up there, but
for sure. But
like that.
If you're towing a 12,000 pound trailer, you're running a diesel, man.
Usually.
Like you're not.
But it's the weird thing. It's like a phenomenon with half tons now. They're making the truck itself lighter than it's ever been,
Yeah.
but yet the capacities are just fucking up and up and up and
Huge.
up.
Yeah.
Because people like horsepower, especially in pickups and sports cars. So
No, I know, but I don't
power
even
keeps
just mean
going
like
up, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
truck
I
keeps getting
suppose,
lighter. So it's just as a side effect, the capacity is going to go up
Yeah.
yeah.
because it got more power.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean,
see-
the brakes aren't necessarily. Don't get me wrong. Brake technology is improved.
Oh, fuck yeah. For sure.
But it's not to say that the brake sizes are getting any larger.
They are though, significantly.
Well, you're only fitting so much of a rotor inside an 18-inch rim.
Yes, but it wasn't. It just within our lifetime they went from 15-inch rims on trucks. To
Oh
18s
yeah,
because the brakes keep getting bigger.
Speak for yourself. I'm rolling on 20s, bro.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Fuck
minimum
outta here.
size. I'm talking about
No,
minimum
I know. I'm just fucking around. Yeah, but the other thing is too, like I wouldn't be so much concerned about a truck towing that weight as I am stopping it.
yeah. That's the big one for me.
Like, that's the issue.
Gotta
Well,
have
slowing
trailer
that-
brakes and
When you
shit.
have something with that much weight, usually you got trailer brakes involved anyway.
For sure. Still a lot of strain on.
But
little tiny-
it's kind of funny though too, right? Because I've been noticing, even though the trucks are getting lighter, and let's just say, like you say, makes the capacities go up.
Yeah.
The trucks themselves, like the dimensions,
Oh, they keep getting bigger.
they're
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
huge.
Crazy,
Have you
man.
seen a new Tundra? The thing's like 8 feet tall, 9 feet wide. It reminds me of an old
They're
like
big.
second gen Dodge. It's fucking huge,
They're getting
Yeah.
to the point where you don't need the camper; you can just camp out in the cab.
right?
Well, look at the back of my truck alone.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
like I remember when the Mega Cab first came out, and that's what
Yeah.
got it all started. But I
Yeah.
mean, brother, I sits in the back of your truck, and I feels like I'm 7, man, because I can lift my feet up and barely even come close to touching the
I
seat.
know.
That's
You
what I
could-
mean. You can kick your feet back there, right?
If there wasn't
Crazy.
a subwoofer under the passenger side back seat, you could
Fold
literally
up the seat and lie down. Yeah.
blow an air mattress up and sleep
They
back.
do actually make air mattresses for the back of your truck.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they have a cutout for the subwoofer?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Perfect.
They also make
Yeah.
a storage box for underneath the seat
Yeah.
that has a lid, and you can have it so it goes around the subwoofer. When you pop open the seat, there's a cover there that you open up to get at your storage bin. But that
Yeah.
cover also folds all the way over and then makes one big flat platform, the same height as your subwoofer, that you can put an air mattress on as well.
Oh, maybe I'll get that. That's a great
No,
idea.
You're getting the truck tent.
I know, but it's nice to be able to sleep in the truck itself.
It is.
And plus, that thing gives you more storage underneath the seat that it actually has a lid and everything. So.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about a sled deck or not.
Nah, fucking sled decks, man.
I don't mean for skidoo.
What are you,
I'm not
what are
buying
you
a
using
skidoo.
for?
Quad, side by
Oh,
side.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I think a
Yeah,
trailer is
it's
just
good for that.
easier.
Well, see, I'd rather not have the trailer because it's just something else behind me. The thing that I like
know,
about the
but-
sled decks is you can get the ones that have the tray underneath that pulls out.
Yeah.
So you can still put all your shit on it, slide it in, put your tailgate up, drive your quad up.
That's one thing I've never seen here is a
No,
Sled
I know, I
deck.
don't. Yeah.
that's
Because
not a
people
thing.
only think it's for skidoos, right? But you can
Yeah.
tie anything down with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember
But-
the first place I lived at after I moved out when I was 18. The landlord had one of those, and it was on his truck all year round because in the winter it was skidoos, summer it was quads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is here, like in Newfoundland, they make it sound like skidooing is kind of not a thing on the mainland, but it's a fucking huge industry here in Ontario.
Oh, up
There's
Ontario,
so
it's
many
big,
trails.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a
Oh, if you
giant
watch-
recreational
if you
thing.
watch any of the big skidooing like
Snow tracks.
shows and snow track stuff like
Shout
that, I
out
mean,
to
they're,
snow
they're all
track.
over the place up there. man.
Yeah, it's
And
all
they
here,
They have some absolutely phenomenal trails.
Better than anything in back home.
Oh, my
by
God.
far. I mean, there's places in Newfoundland
So
where
maintained.
They literally have
They're not
restaurants on
maintained.
trails.
well, that's the difference, right? The Newfoundland, there's some scenery that you're not going to get in Ontario, but you have to make the trail to get there yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's some scenery here that you're not going to get in Newfoundland too.
Yeah, it's different
Absolutely.
type. That's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely.
I just it
Different type.
weirds me out how like when you're in Newfoundland, people make it seem like that's the only beautiful province in Ontario or in Canada. Sorry, it's like, well, but
It's
have you been to the Rockies, bro?
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's like they have only went as far as Ontario, and that's it, right? They
Yeah.
No.
completely forget about the West
Yeah.
Coast.
Don't get me wrong. Newfoundland has some of the most beautiful scenery you'll ever fucking see. You go to the
Yeah,
The West
Tablelands,
Coast. Yeah.
the West Coast, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the East Coast has some stuff too if you're into like
coastal areas and stuff.
Yeah, like bay
Yeah, but-
views. Like if you get up high enough and
Oh,
you look
yeah.
out over the bay, it's pretty beautiful, right? But
It is, but I'm just saying the West Coast with those much bigger mountains just gives it that.
well,
extra.
what's that in Grossmore National Park? That fjord tour that you can take on the boat.
Yeah.
Western
That's
Brook
one
Fjord,
of the
yeah.
most stunning fucking
That's
views you could
crazy,
ever
yeah.
see. That looks like something straight out of Norway.
Yeah.
Well, when I was living
You
in
know.
Rocky Harbor, I literally went on that thing like 5 times because every time family visited, we had to go do that tour.
I was
I
going
get
to
a
say
laugh
you'd probably
too,
be
right?
familiar with it.
I get a laugh too because everybody forgets. Like nobody thinks about like Saskatchewan and Manitoba for
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, really.
Mm.
But people like because they're just like, oh yeah, well, it's just flat. It's just the plains. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
that's because you're looking at the ground.
Mm.
The views
That
in
big
those
sky?
provinces are the sky.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Well,
Texas,
it's-
right? The
I
big
was
sky
about
in
to
Texas.
say it's like Texas. If you get like
Montana,
a fairly big
all that.
hill, because it's not really big mountains, but a fairly big
No.
hill in Texas, and you build a house up there. I mean, some of the views are spectacular.
Oh,
because obviously,
fuck.
if you're on this high elevated plateau in the middle
Yeah.
of all this lowland, I mean, you can see forever. It just goes
Well, I mean,
on
there's
and
times
the
you're on
sky.
the number one highway and you're looking at the same silo in the distance for 7 hours. You're like, well, what the fuck? How huge is this thing when I get up to it? And it's
Yeah.
just a normal silo, but because
Well-
it's so flat, you can see past what your normal range of view is going to be.
Yeah. Well, when I worked in northern Alberta, like real northern Alberta, like almost the Yukon, and there was a couple nights, I think it was
That's
one or
Cold
two
Lake or
nights.
something up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's farther
Cold
north
Lake,
than that.
yeah.
Farther north. I can't remember the name of the place. But we saw the Northern Lights, which is pretty rare to see from there. Like usually you have to be a
Pretty
little bit more north.
incredible.
But it's something to see.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
You
I
can
don't
see
know
that
how
here.
many. Yeah,
Every
but
now
not
and then,
not
yeah.
in the same way though.
No, it's not as spectacular.
No.
I've seen it several times here in Newfoundland and Rocky Harbor and places like that.
Yeah, no, I know what you
It's-
mean.
It's just like a wisp compared
Muted,
to
yeah.
when you're up north. When you're up
Yeah,
north,
like-
it's like the whole sky.
It's a
It
light
was
show.
so vivid, and I was like, "That is the most fucking bananas thing."
Yeah.
I can
like,
imagine because it's spectacular.
Picture it on the
down
middle
here,
of the
and
ocean
it's-
with absolutely zero light pollution.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah.
Well, see,
Oh, it's
that's usually
gorgeous, man.
all the times I've seen it here in Newfoundland. It's looking out over the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's fairly far away from shore, and you can see it in the sky towards the horizon, and even then,
Yeah.
it's spectacular. So when you're further north, where you're almost directly under it,
yeah.
I
it's
mean,
fucking.
I've seen
it's-
videos of it, but it's not can't be the same as seeing it in real life. I can just
No,
imagine.
it's
No.
not.
That would
no.
be amazing.
I wish I
Because
could.
like you know
I wish
how
I was older.
you know how it looks like waves.
Hmm.
It almost more. Think of like when you see those really giant schools of fish that
Yeah.
all swim almost like one big fish.
Yeah.
And you get that shimmer when they curve their bodies. That's almost what the waves are like, almost like a shimmering dust. Oh, it's fucking
It's-
great.
Yeah,
It's
the only
really
difference
something.
is it's it's deadly ionizing radiation that will kill
Yeah,
you.
but it's
You know,
beautiful.
It's up in the
No
sky.
big deal. Fuck it. What are we with? What odds? But no, it is something. I wish I was older when I saw it to appreciate it more because I don't think I
Yeah.
appreciated it the same as I do
No,
now.
no, you wouldn't.
Like
No.
it's a different animal altogether. But oh fuck. Well, I guess we're gonna have to be selective with what we hunt, then, brother.
Yeah, that's okay.
Figure it
That's
out.
all right. Like you say, we got to spend a lot of time practicing too. We're gonna have.
Well,
to
there's
set
a
up some
lot of
targets.
regulations too that we have to figure out for here
Yes.
because it is not like back on the rock.
No, Newfoundland.
Back
you
on the
just
rock,
buy the
you
license,
basically-
you go do it.
It's so funny. I love it. You just go in, you're like, you enter the draw, you get a tag for a moose, and you just pay them $150 and or whatever it is, $100, and you're done. And then you just get in the truck and you drive woods roads until you see something in a
Selection.
cutover. Put the gun across the hood of the truck and let them have it. Like
Cut
that's
them up,
you know,
eat them.
for the most part. Like some
Yeah.
people do a bit of bushwhacking, but not many.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
when they
some
make a-
people,
when they
that's
make a bad
wigging
shot.
them in a bushwhacking.
Yeah. Or some people like the old man will go in and walk in over a cutover and then sit on a ridge or something.
You don't mind walking. Yeah.
No, he don't mind walking. But most guys are driving the truck
Drive.
by with the coffee, and
Yeah.
oh,
Coffee?
hang on, we'll get out
Or-
and have a look.
Or
and-
you got Mike. You just keep going up in our blind. Every year you get a moose. He just go up there with his coffee real early in the morning.
yeah,
have
he's
a bit of
the
his
Take a
coffee,
nap.
fall asleep, get woke up by the sound of a moose walking in front of him. Every
God
year.
love him though.
That was
I
like
mean,
2 or 3 years ago
hey,
we did that.
fucking
It
all the
works.
power to him, man. It works. Whatever works, man. Listen, some
That's the
people are just
crazy part is it works.
some people are
It's
just
like,
lucky
just
as
go in,
fuck, man.
fall asleep.
Wakes up and there's the moose.
Some people are just super lucky, bro. Guys,
Or shoot in the bum.
it's not even like he was calling them for an hour and a half. Like he literally
No,
goes
he
in,
was
takes a nap.
asleep. I wonder what his snoring sounds like.
Must sound like a bull moose, or a cow.
Or a female. Yeah.
Oh. Here comes Mr.
Oh,
Moose
my.
coming through the woods. There's a lot of caribou up there too.
There was, man. Well, remember that one time we were dipping and diving through on quads there?
Yeah.
And through the timber and stuff, and they were fucking like maggots just coming out of everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
I almost hit
they move in big herds.
I almost hit a deer the other morning. Yesterday morning. No, morning before that.
Good
The
to be
fucker
careful, brother.
right on the highway. There was one jumping across the highway and one up on the little ridge there.
And man, can they jump?
But he got off that highway some fast. He almost got struck. Man, there's geese everywhere here.
Yeah.
Literally the other day, downtown Guelph, and there's like 8 geese in the road, and like cars coming right up to them, and they just look at the car and like, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah. Honk.
They won't even move, man. They don't care.
No.
I was like, what
they're
the
on
fuck
their
is
own
happening?
schedule, man.
Yeah. He just look over and then he just keep waddling real slow and then he'll pause. He'll stop and have a look around. He's like,
Yeah. I'll get across
he's
when I'm
fucking- I
ready.
was like,
That actually makes for a really good answer to why did the chicken cross the road?
yeah.
Because he fucking wanted to. That's why.
But yeah, they're just their chicks just hatched too. Or I guess what do you call a baby goose? Hatchling?
Gosling.
A gosling?
Gosling.
Gooseling?
No, Gosling.
Like a gosling? Like a Ryan Gosling?
I was about
Yeah.
to say like Ryan.
I knew I
Absolutely.
saw it in your eyes, Ed. I had to steal it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they just I guess they just hatched because I saw a bunch of little ones following.
Wee ones waggling along.
Oh yeah. They're bright yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
They're funny.
completely awkward as fuck.
Yeah, they just kind of fall over each other. They have
Yeah.
big floppy heads and shit. And you're like,
So uncoordinated.
I'm gonna eat you one day. That's the
So, what's this I keep hearing about Conor making like an absorbent amount of money this year or something?
So I read an
McGregor,
article about that the other day.
Okay.
Apparently, he was the highest paid athlete in 2021 or 2022. I can't remember.
Like in the world?
In the world, like
2022 is not here yet, bro.
sorry, 2021 or 2020. I can't remember what I think it's probably like.
Really?
Yeah,
He's the
it
highest
must have been
paid?
2020. More than Lionel
Usually-
Messi, which is he's one of the biggest soccer players over in Europe.
Yeah.
More than Cristiano Ronaldo. More than LeBron James.
I
all
remember
those
when
guys.
A-Rod got his 5-year, or like his $25 million a year for 5-year contract, and everybody like lost their fucking
Oh, yeah.
minds. And now that's normal. Like,
Conor apparently made $180 million.
oh my.
That's a lot of money.
That's a bit of cheddar.
Yeah, a little bit of walking around money. Yeah,
I don't know where the other 80 million
Shit.
came from. Probably endorsements, I guess, or something.
probably.
Wow.
But a lot of money. Well, I think he sold his. I could be wrong, but I think he
You got a
sold
brewing company or something?
his whiskey company
Whiskey company.
for $600 million.
Holy shit.
I have to
Now,
fact check
that's
myself.
a lot of money.
Yeah, if that's the case, he's not worried about much.
That's $780 million.
Yeah, he sold Proper 12 was what it was called. Yeah, Proper 12 was a deal that was okay. Yeah, he sold the Irish whiskey company. The deal was reportedly worth $600 million.
Would you ever fight again?
If I had $600 million plus $100 million for fighting Floyd, plus $80 million that came from somewhere I'm not sure, no, I'd fucking retire at however old Conor McGregor is.
You'd
And
never
I'd
see me in the ring again. Training
live on-
maybe, but
I would
retire at 100 million, let alone the rest of it.
I would live on a yacht.
forever.
Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Because every
I
time
get-
you get in that ring, you could literally just be paralyzed. It's a total fact.
Or the more you get punched in the head, the more likely you are to get CTE or shake when you get older, like Muhammad Ali, or fucking
That's right.
get punchy and sound like a, you know what I mean? Like, he's obviously young and healthy now. Like,
Yeah.
boy, I'll tell you,
done.
he's one of the best at promoting himself.
Oh, he's a PR man. Yeah, he's a hype man.
There's nobody better than hyping a fight.
He's basically a Don King that knows how to fight really, really well too.
Yeah.
Well, Muhammad Ali was like that too. You ever see some?
Yeah, he was.
Speeches?
Right.
He was crazy, right. Man.
Yeah.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Oh, he get the crowds hyped.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather was the same way. Floyd knew how to pump a fight up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Same with like Roy Jones.
Roy Jones Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to get the crowds just fucking ripping, man.
Yeah.
He started dancing around.
So I mean, all the power to him. He did the same. I mean, Jake Paul's taken a page right out of his book.
Oh yeah.
He just constantly talks shit nonstop and insult everything about the other guy you're fighting.
Yeah. And
then make it so big that you get a proceeds from the pay-per-view. And then that ends up being...
Who can we start talking shit about?
I know, it'd have to be somebody I'm sure that I could almost win against.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to just walk in and just get wrecked by the first punch.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck with... You can't fuck with guys that weigh too much more than you either, because it makes it that much harder.
Yeah.
So you gotta, find somebody roughly around your size and talk shit about them.
Oh, well, I'm out. Unless I lost a shitload of weight.
Yeah.
And I'm messing with some guy that boxes
going up to Brock Lesnar.
35
Fuck, man.
No, but see, you don't do that, Ed. You talk shit about some YouTuber or something like that. Some really popular YouTuber.
Oh, I destroyed him.
You know what I mean? Well, you don't know that because Jake Paul's fucking...
Yeah, okay.
That guy can throw...
Normal YouTubers, there's always going to be, a couple that actually fight. And I'm sure he was one of them, but the majority of them that I watched, no.
Yeah. Well, he learned how to box, right? Which he's far from a good boxer. He's
if I was
good for
a
learn YouTuber.
One, yeah.
He can legit.
If I was going to learn one, I would learn just straight boxing.
Well, it's definitely the least. I don't want to say complicated, but you're more likely to catch on to it fast because you only have to worry about hands and footwork.
Yeah,
it is less complicated than MMA. It's a lot less stuff to remember.
Yeah,
it's still not easy by any means.
Much rather.
I just mean more so for the physical training that comes with it.
Oh, I would much rather step into a ring with a boxer than to get to a cage with an MMA fighter.
Oh, yeah. Any day of the week.
Fucking.
Well,
there's so many ways they can kill you.
well, for one, even though a boxer can take your head off, at least it's a padded glove, and you don't have to worry about feet or knees, elbow,
or a big old shin or an elbow fucking smashing your head
coming across on you.
Isn't
a heel to the temple? Imagine.
Isn't that weird? If you think about it, if your fist, right? If you didn't wear those padded gloves with wraps inside and stuff like that, you can only hit a guy so hard before you break your hand.
That's right.
Yeah, you'd mess your hand up more than his face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So we put protection on that because it's delicate, right? But then you can take this thing and bury it into somebody, and that's a hard. I could do that all day.
Yeah.
And especially if you're hitting it right, if you're getting it nice and flat.
As long as you're getting this flat part and not the corner,
the tip,
you can lean on that all day, or
you
like
can
a knee.
Do some serious damage.
You get somebody in a tie clinch, your knee. That's That's ruthless, man.
You knee somebody in the forehead, you could kill them.
This is big time.
That's the thing. You can punch somebody hard enough to kill them, let alone when you bring in elbows and knees.
Yeah,
and kicks.
That's one of the hardest parts of your body.
The biggest reason these guys don't kill each other is because they're both trained. Right?
Yeah, and they're also trained on how to take a hit.
That's my point. You get somebody who's completely untrained, never fought in their life, don't even know how to take a hit, and let one of these guys just wail on them. I mean, they'd literally be dead.
Yeah, they'd be breaking bones real fast.
Yeah. But it's kind of crazy when you think about it. I wonder how many hands would get broken in the UFC if they weren't allowed to wear gloves.
Well, they got that new bare knuckle series out.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna start watching that. Paige Van Zant's leaving the UFC to go to that. Hey,
Hmm.
she's a girl. She's pretty too, which is, I mean, I don't want to say weird, like, but you're gonna get a lot of.
You look at Ali's daughter; she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but the problem with
She'll fucking knock your head off.
right, but the two schools of thought with when it comes to like padded gloves versus bare knuckle is when you have a padded glove, you can hit harder and it causes more brain damage, right?
Mm.
But if you take the gloves off, you can't hit as hard, which doesn't cause as much brain damage, and you can't hit as often.
But everybody's hands get fucked up.
Well,
And
but
people's
imagine the
faces, too, 'cause
scar tissue that you're going to
Yeah.
have on your face. You're going to get cut easy.
You're going to beat the
Yeah.
soft tissue in your face up a lot more.
Yeah.
Getting punched
But
with
like
bare knuckles.
when you see somebody like you take Tony Ferguson in the UFC, he's legendary for cutting people with his elbows, like pressure cuts. Imagine how many more cuts you're going to get with a bare knuckle.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? I mean, think about boxing. Even when somebody gets a cut over the eye from a padded glove, now picture
Yeah.
bare knuckles. I mean,
Like if you hit somebody
Gnarly.
straight on right here above the eye with bare knuckles, you're pressure cutting them.
Yeah.
For
you're
sure.
busting them open.
Every time, yeah.
Every time. Especially if you do it with like a glance, like a hook.
Oh yeah, if
Yep.
it grazes, it's just
You're-
tearing. If you get it right square, it's gonna pop anyways from swelling.
Yeah. So as much as you lose the brain damage, you get a lot of superficial
Yeah,
damage.
just
right?
turned into absolute meat wagon for a
You look
face.
like, well, Forrest Griffin. That guy had more scar tissue on his face than anybody in the history of the UFC. Well, maybe Vanderlei Silva. That guy looked. Remember the?
Yeah,
Do you remember the movie Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
You remember the axe murderer in that? The guy with the real jacked up, scarred up face.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
Vanderlei Silva looked like. His nickname was actually the axe murderer. I think it probably came from that movie, I assume. But he's an ugly dude.
Yeah, some
No,
people get
Vanderlei, I don't want to
real
fight you.
visually beat up from that.
Fuck
man.
off. Oh yeah. So I think
Oof.
some people are prone to it.
Yeah,
Like
I
they
do
just
too.
they cut easy.
And they probably
yeah.
scar more easy too. Right?
yeah.
Well, once you have scar tissue, it's that much easier to cut it again, like open it up, even when it's fully healed.
Kind of a
it just-
different cell structure.
Yeah, it breaks easier again. So I don't know, fucking crazy. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be in the bare knuckle fighting league. I don't think.
No, my God, I've been punched bare fist lots of times. It fucking sucks.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
a
not
fan.
fun. It's not fun.
Mm-mm.
No, there's nothing good about it.
So we got to set up some targets once you're here.
Many.
Put some reps in with the bow.
Yeah.
I guess since you can't hunt here, we'll start training for next season then.
Training's the big one, yeah.
Yeah, because
We got to get our areas sorted out. Where we're
putting
going to be going.
some
We got to get
hiking
our
miles.
permissions, and we got to get some steps put in.
and then some reps with the bow. Set it up in some trees, so you got to shoot through some branches, make it more real life. You know what I mean?
Yes, more actual environment.
Anybody can shoot in a fucking open field.
Yeah,
I'd say anybody, but any archer can shoot in an open field.
yeah. Well, I mean, you have a lot less to concern yourself with.
Well, wind.
Yeah.
And then that's it. After you see, Joe Rogan had John Dudley build him a bow.
Who's John Dudley?
So, John Dudley is the owner of Knock On, who is basically builds custom bows, and so he's sponsored by PSE.
Okay.
He built Joe Rogan a bow, 95-pound draw.
God damn, that's for buffalo.
That's a savage bow.
That's got to be like 460 feet per second or something.
I think it's only like 380 or something like that, but it's something staggering. At 95
draw
pounds
weight,
is a
man.
fucking heavy draw weight.
You are
Well,
a beast to be hauling that back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogan's
It's-
not a small guy, but that's 95 pounds, man.
Well, my
Separate.
concern would be holding it.
Well, yeah, because your let off's 80%, so you're still holding like what, 25 pounds?
No,
Can't
you'd
hold
be
that for long.
No, you'd be a little bit less than that. Because if it were a 100-pound draw, you'd be holding 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're probably holding 13 pounds or something like that. I did math. Ed, are you doing the math in your head? What is it?
No, I wasn't. I was just thinking about how retarded it would be back in the day, medieval times. With the English longbow, the war bows were average about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Draw weight.
Mm.
And, like, not sensible. Now,
No, and the crazy thing about them is they used
shot?
to draw it and then aim and then wait till somebody would say loose. And to hold that motherfucker.
and even the arrows that was shot were substantially bigger.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Bigger, heavier,
because
longer.
Of the amount of draw weight. I mean, a normal arrow would shatter from release.
Yeah.
And the range, I mean, is ridiculous because they literally
400 or
shoot into
500
the
yards.
sky and it would just rain down on the enemy.
Yeah.
I think
From
it would
300, eh? Our arrows will blot out the sky.
Oh, yeah.
We'll fight in the fucking dark, man. Whatever.
We're fighting the shade, yeah. It's fucking fun. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's deadly.
Yeah.
Just
But
straight
do you know
kicking
that
everybody into
most
a
of
hole.
those badass lines in that movie were actually real quotes from that battle?
Don't surprise me a
a
bit.
lot of
Oh, really?
A lot of the actual quotes were even more badass than what they portrayed them in the movie. Like that
Wow.
Shade one, it was two different characters than what they showed in the movie. But the point was when that Persian guy said to Buddy, "Is like, oh, we got so many archers, so many arrows, we'll blot out the sun." He said, "Thanks. I'm so happy." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "That's awesome news. I get to go back and tell the men today we fight in the shade. We were dreading the hot sun."
That's so great.
It's like, what? What the? Wait
Wouldn't
a
you,
minute.
if you were fighting guys like that, wouldn't you just be like, fuck this?
That's so
Like,
psychological.
there's
right?
something
Like,
wrong with those guys.
Well, that's the
They're
thing.
not
I mean,
normal.
technically they lost,
Yeah.
Sure.
but I'm surprised they lost because the battle went on for so long and they literally killed thousands of Persians and there was only 300 of them.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do the Persians be like, "I'm sick of going over there, man"? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah, at what point are they not like Jesus? If these guys are like it, what's the rest of Greece like?
Yeah. Why the fuck would we want to go there?
Or even the rest of Sparta. It was
Yeah.
only 300 Spartans.
Yeah.
There was still
Yeah.
an army of Spartans.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why
because
would-
at the end it was 10,000 Spartans leading
Yeah.
50,000 Greeks.
Why the fuck would you want to fight those guys?
Yeah.
It's something weird about, like, if somebody's going to get into an altercation and they're calm. Like, I'm never afraid of the guys that are running their mouth.
No.
Like, the guy who's making a big scene and talking a bunch of shit, like, I'm almost never nervous around any of those guys. It's that
'Cause
guy
they're
that
just mouths.
sits there stone-faced and just observes
waiting
what's
for
going
the-
on, and I go, that guy's a bad motherfucker. He's not worried at all right now. He's still drinking his tea, bro. You know what I mean? I saw a video on the internet of this guy sitting at a bar smoking a cigarette. And he's just sitting there, and this guy comes in with a knife, and he's like robbing the bar. It was a knife or a gun.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
see.
sure which
Yeah,
one. You know what I'm talking about?
It was a gun.
It was a gun. And he's robbing everybody else. And this guy's just sitting at the bar. He's drinking his beer and smoking a cigarette. And Buddy comes over and points the gun at him. He just takes another draw of his cigarette. And he's like, I don't know what he said to him, but it must have just been like, go the fuck away from me or something. Like, so calm. Never
Yeah,
lost
'cause
his composure.
it was just security footage, right? And it was like
Yeah.
over his right shoulder. And
Yeah.
you see him take a puff of his cigarette, and he just blows the smoke towards this guy. And Buddy's pointing the gun towards him, saying something.
Yeah.
And he says something, and just looks back and just
And
continues
starts-
drinking and smoking a cigarette. And Buddy's there with the gun and kind of just ignores him, then goes off.
Yeah, just walks away.
Starts mugging everybody else and just left him alone.
Like,
So,
you got to be a stone cold motherfucker to do that
but
shit when somebody's got a
remember
gun
what
in
he
your
looked like?
face.
He looked like just some average
Normal dude.
middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
Nothing special about him, but obviously he had that look in his eye and that attitude where
Yeah.
that guy with the gun was just like, you know what?
I'm not
Gonna
going to
leave
fuck
him
with
be.
you.
It reminds me of that story. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently these guys were going to burgle this house. And I say burgle because robbery is done with, like, weapons. When you break into somebody's house and steal stuff, that's a burglary. Anyway, they were...
Or you
they-
know.
this guy was casing the house and then was giving info to the guys that were going to burgle the house. So he sent them one night, but they hit the neighbor's house. I guess they got their wires crossed. They were supposed to hit this house, but they hit this one. Just so happened the house that they hit was owned by a Navy SEAL.
Of course.
And there's like 3 of them that broke in, and he demolished, like broke one guy's leg, broke the other guy's arm, tuned the other guy up, or killed one of them. Like, what a bad day at work for those fucking guys.
Right.
Like, they literally break into the one dude's house that's a straight, legit, trained killer.
Going in for like maybe $5,000 worth of stuff, right?
Yeah, looking for like TVs and shit.
And then they get lit
Yeah.
up. Like, what bad luck you got, bro?
Time to change Korea.
Yeah, you should look into, like, I don't know, gardening
Macrame.
or something. Just stop burgling people. It's not good for you. Clearly. You all ended up in the hospital.
Well, that's the thing about down in the States anyway. I mean,
You
breaking
never
people's
know
houses down
whose
there
house
is
you're
like
going
Russian
into.
roulette, I think.
Especially in Texas. What the
Yeah,
fuck
you
are
get
you
shot just for
doing?
walking on the property, which
Burgling
is
a
15 acres
dude.
away from
Yeah.
the house.
What are you doing burgling a dude in Texas? Don't they have the castle rule in Texas still?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
as
Like,
far as I know.
some states, they still have the castle rule. Like, if you come on my property, I can
I
fucking
can
shoot
shoot
you.
your ass.
It was only a
That's
few years
actually-
ago. You
that's-
hear about that poor black guy. His wife was pregnant,
Hmm.
and he called the ambulance because she went in labor. And as the ambulance was coming down the road, he ran out his front yard and ran across the corner of his neighbor's yard. So the neighbor
Yeah.
came out and shot him
Wow.
because he ran across the property. He got away with it because of the
That's
castle
so-
rule.
That's so Texas in Texas.
And I think it was somewhere like Texas, but the point was, like, this guy was like this real southern white guy, right? And his
Mm.
neighbor happened to be like a black family living next door, and everybody knew he hated this black family, right? So
Just
it-
waiting for an
He
excuse.
literally must have been just waiting because he calls an ambulance, and it just so happens while he's running across the corner of Buddy's yard, Buddy's already outside with the gun. It's like, how does that even happen? He's like,
Just
well,
set
he
up
must
with a
be, like,
tripod.
set up on his front
Ed.
stoop with the gun at all times.
You have to understand, in Texas, they have things that are called porch guns,
Yeah, that's true.
where
That's
where
true.
Yeah.
the gun literally stays on the porch, and you just take the mag with you, and the bolt probably. I don't
It's
know.
loaded already.
It's probably loaded already. Gun safety is not a thing.
Oh, it's insane.
Fun. But isn't it weird, like here in Canada, like if somebody broke into the house right now, I'm not allowed to shoot them. Like, even
if
if
your life
It-
is in
it
imminent
depends.
danger, yes,
It
is.
depends. Yeah.
If
If,
you
No,
can
you-
if it's a
articulate,
life-threatening situation,
yeah,
I think you're still going to jail for manslaughter.
nope,
no,
No?
you will get charged with manslaughter, but it will get thrown out in court.
yeah. You
Oh,
just
oh,
have
that's
to be.
good.
It's the same as the rules of engagement for the Canadian Army. You
Mhm.
you basically you have to be able to articulate why your life was in imminent danger, why you thought you were
Hmm.
going to die if you didn't do what you had to do.
Yeah,
That's
because
good.
I remember I seen this news article where they said like this guy was trying to assault this man's, I can't remember if it was his wife or his sister or something, and but he shot him to protect his sister, and he ended up getting charged. And the paper made it seem like the news article made it seem like, oh yeah, it's because he used a weapon. It's not what it was. He used an illegal weapon. That's why he got charged.
Oh,
Right.
come on, loophole.
It was a sawed-off shotgun.
Get the fuck out of here. Still.
Yeah, but he didn't get charged with killing Buddy. He got charged
No,
with
I know it.
weapons charges because
Yeah.
of the
Because he had an
owning
illegal
of
firearm.
the weapon and the modification of a weapon. And all that.
I still think at that point the court should go, I think that dude's been through enough. We're going to let you off the
Yeah.
hook, but we're going to confiscate the gun.
Oh no!
Well,
the
yeah,
court-
that's
You know what I
well,
mean?
see,
Like-
at that point in the news article, as far as I remember, he was being charged, but it hadn't gone to court yet. And last I heard, they did take it easy on him. He still had, I think there were still fines and stuff involved, but they did take it a little easy on him considering the situation.
Yeah. I think if somebody threatens your life, you should be able to fucking do
Voila.
whatever you got to do. Without
That's what I'll be
hesitation.
doing.
Yeah. Only fair.
Yeah.
Don't break into my
If I-
fucking house.
Man, you break into my
Well,
house, I'm breaking
this
your
shit won't
fucking
happen to
legs.
Well, that's the thing. I got a wife and small children in my house, so you break in, I'm not worried about what the law says.
No shit.
I'm doing whatever I got to do to make you stop.
Yeah. Beat you
And
with
I will
2
not
by 4 or
hesitate.
some shit.
Oh, I won't be hesitating
You know what I mean?
here. I won't even be thinking about it. It'll just
Oh,
be
fuck.
happening.
You just react, I think, right? At that point.
Well, especially when you got young children in the house, you're not thinking about
Yeah, your instincts
what's going to
just
happen
take
to you.
over.
You're
and-
just thinking about
Yeah.
they're not going anywhere near my kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you politely to leave.
No,
No.
Things are going to go bad for you
real quick.
in a hurry. Unless you got like 5 or 6 buddies with you. In which case, they might not go so good for me. Who knows? Fuck.
Might not, but I'll tell you, I go down swinging.
Oh, going down swinging, son, for sure. For sure.
I'll be grabbing like shower curtain rod, whatever I get my hands on at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
Come here, you motherfucker! Smash him with the rod, wrap him up with the with the shower curtain.
Yeah.
I
heard
playing
that.
with sticks in my yard, pretending I was Donatello. I might actually do all right. No,
Yeah.
someone comes in, I'm like,
So, did you hear that they banned grizzly bear hunting in British Columbia?
no, I did not
You
hear that.
can't hunt. You can't get a license for grizzly bear.
Is
in
it
British
the
Columbia.
population? Is it because of the population or something of the bears? Or?
I'm not sure. I only just read a headline about it this morning. I didn't read the full article, but it kind of, and I got like a couple captions, but it kind of sounds like it's public outcry, like don't hunt the bears sort of thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Even though like grizzlies are a big problem, man, if they get overpopulated.
If they start coming into city areas and populated areas,
Well, yeah,
it's
just for
nasty.
starters, if you overpopulate a species like that, there's not enough food in their natural habitat, which means they're going to move to where
Wherever they can find it.
other things are, where they can find it. And if they start moving into your city, like you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, because you're
It's-
not doing much to a bear.
I
other than
watched
tranquilizer.
Not
a
a
video of
grizzly.
a grizzly bear straight up breaking a moose's back by hitting it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, speaking of moose, it's bad enough if moose population gets too high in Newfoundland because I mean, look at the casualty rate goes up just from
For
people
sure,
dying
yeah.
on the highway.
Yeah.
Hitting moose because a moose versus car, moose wins.
Every
Moose is a big
time.
animal
Every time.
destroys a car,
Yeah.
right?
But
And talking about animal populations getting out of whack, I mean, just think about the rabbit as a perfect example.
yeah,
There's times here in Newfoundland when rabbit population skyrockets. And
Yeah.
then for like 2 years, you go out in the woods anywhere where there's a large rabbit population, and from like 2 feet off the forest floor down,
Yeah.
there isn't any bark, there's no vegetation, everything's
Yep.
eaten.
yeah,
And
it's
then all of
crazy.
a sudden, the rabbit population plummets because they're literally starving to death.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a
So-
weird cycle, and I don't think people understand it because especially city people who grow up in cities and
Well,
stuff.
that's the problem. Is
they're
they
removed
don't
from it, right?
They don't understand the fact that just
Yeah.
by us being here and having our cities and having our highways, we're already impacting the natural environment.
Yeah.
So,
So
hunting is a way to regulate it and
Yeah.
actually bring some balance back because
So,
we have to hunt
if-
certain species or they're going to starve to death anyway.
yeah,
if they
but
get
if they banned grizzly bear hunting because populations are too low, I get it. I understand.
Yes,
Yeah,
that I
makes
would
sense.
You know what I
understand.
mean? But if you're just doing it because of public outcry,
Because we like
From-
teddy bears.
hippies who think grizzly bears are Smokey the Bear,
Yeah.
I can promise you they're not. If
They
you
don't
leave,
protect the forest,
I'm
folks.
gonna. Joe Rogan had it on his podcast, and that said it the best was, if you leave a bear in the room with your baby, there's 100% chance the bear eats that baby.
Yeah,
There's not a 95,
it's not a question.
not a 50, 100%.
Yeah, he's gonna
That
eat it.
shit's gonna happen.
Well, bears got to eat.
So, for people to be like, "Wow, you don't need to hunt. You can go get your food at a grocery store." Well, until they start getting overpopulated and they start coming into public parks,
Yeah.
and taking kids.
To people who talk
So-
about the fact you can buy meat at a grocery store, I argue to them, why don't you go and find out where that meat comes from? And
Yeah, you
tell
should
me
go to a
what's more
slaughterhouse.
humane. Yeah, tell me what's more humane, letting an animal
Yeah.
live its natural life out in the wild, enjoy its life, and then when it gets a certain age, it gets shot. If it's
Well, how
the
about
unlucky one that gets
even this
shot.
argument? I could go out and get an animal, kill it, and I got natural meat.
Mhm.
I go to the grocery store and I buy
It's
a
full of
steak.
steroids. and
It's
everything
fucking
else.
pumped with steroids and covered in red dye.
Yeah, it's one thing that people
It's
don't
not
realize.
natural
Like
meat.
when you go in and buy that real red bright steak, that's dye that makes it
It's
look
not
that
what
way.
beef looks like.
That's like salmon from salmon farms.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Same
not
thing.
that pink.
No,
That's the food they fucking give
no,
them.
it's a much
give-
pa-
they-
it's
they
a
give
much
it food
paler.
with-
Wild salmon is much
that-
paler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, the ones in farms, if they're not given the chemicals to make to change their color,
Mm.
it's their meat is right dull gray, almost white. It's real disgusting looking.
You
Yeah.
know what's kind of crazy though? A very big portion of the food that they feed salmon in fish farms is salmon.
Mhm.
Cannibals.
Not only that, a lot of the arguments for fish farms is the fact that it's taking the pressure off natural fish stocks. To that, I argue: do you know what they feed the fish at fish farms?
Yeah.
They
And not
feed
only
them
that, do you know
a
how many
shitload more wild fish than they're actually getting out of the fish farm.
Just trash fish.
Yep.
Because the food that they feed fish in fish farms is a type of fish food that's ground up fish, basically.
Yeah.
Other species of fish ground up. And a lot of those fish
Well,
come
that's good.
from the oceans. So they're actually fishing more to feed the
to
fish. in
feed
fish
the
farms.
farm fish. And the other problem with farm fish is you get way too many fish in that one small spot, and the slightest problem happens. They're all diseased. They all catch the same thing, and they're
They
all
get all
swimming
kinds
around
of-
in their own shit all the
Yeah,
time.
they're full of parasites and disease all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Very unnatural. It's a horrible life for the fish. But nobody worries about fish because they're not cute. But I mean, they're still living things too.
And then you got
That's
those
why
people.
I agree with hunting more than going to the store.
And then you got those people that think we should be all vegans.
Ugh,
To that I say,
ugh.
you've never had a steak that I made.
Or enjoy the cold that you get that lasts 7 weeks.
Get the fuck out of here.
They also don't understand the joy of hunting, whether you catch anything or not. Just getting out in nature and enjoying it.
Just
They
doing
don't
it,
understand
yeah.
that part of it.
Well, there's a
They
direct
literally
correlation.
think those people literally think hunters are just out there to destroy nature.
Oh
We're
yeah,
out there to
no,
enjoy
we're
nature.
monsters. Don't you
We're
know
more
that, Ed?
likely to want to protect nature and make sure
Yeah.
there's always natural
Yes, 'cause
forests
we're
around
actually
and everything
in
else.
it.
Don't you
Enjoy it.
understand we're monsters
Yeah, I know, right?
to most people, which is fucking banana. And you know, there's a direct correlation between how stress, stress levels for people who never go out in the wilderness and just like
Oh, it's way different,
be
yeah.
like, man, you should go camping a lot more than people do. And like,
Well-
and I mean go camping. Like, take your fucking phone and leave it in the car or where. Don't bring it with you. Bring a fucking book if you're gonna get bored.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
like
just go out in nature, man.
I sometimes see people who live their entire life in a city, and they're talking about going out to the country. They're talking about like dumb hicks and stuff, and they don't understand how they can literally just be sitting out on their front porch enjoying a cup of coffee, like they don't have a care in the world, and everything is very slow and Monday. Like, how can people live like that? It's like because they're carefree. They have no
'Cause you need-
stress. In the
That's
city,
how we
Sometimes-
were
they're hectic rat
designed
race.
to live.
Sometimes you need to be turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
Bored-
built to live
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
not indoors. We weren't made
Not as much.
to
And this year is
build
even weirder
houses
because
and-
We
Like-
weren't really made to live outside in northern climates, but
No, but you know
No,
what I
but
mean. I'm-
we were born to live outdoors and sleep indoors.
enjoy nature. Yeah.
Yes. We weren't born to spend 18 hours of your day in a structure where there's no sun and then 1 hour outside. Like, why do you think when you go outside you feel so great when the sun is shining?
And
Vitamin
when you're
D,
living,
baby.
and when you are,
Oxygen.
fuck yeah.
and when you are living outside of a city and you walk outside, how you can actually smell the air smells so good and fresh. Like, yeah, think about what you've been smelling the entire time you're in your house, the stale same air that's been in there.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
recirculated.
You want to know why people's mental health is all fucked up because of like the last year and a half is because you've been barred in your fucking house for a year and a half.
at a time.
Like, you're not supposed to be like that, man.
No, not at all.
You got to
it's
get
not
outside.
healthy
You
in
got to
any
get
way.
some
Even if you're
vitamin
not
D
into
and-
hunting, the other side of hunting is
No, just
gathering.
go fucking camping or go pick some berries or some shit
no,
like that.
just going for regular hikes. That's
Just
how
a
you solve.
hike,
Hey,
yeah, just a walk.
that's how you solve the people that don't want people to grizzly hunt. Just tell them to go on more hikes in bear country.
Yeah. No, you want to give
Nature
them,
will take
a
care
minute.
of it.
Listen to me. This is the most beautiful ridge line you could ever walk. By the way, here's a raw steak for you. Enjoy it. Cook it on a fire when you get up
There's a
there.
barbecue up at the top. You can cook it once you arrive.
Just let them go. We fucking grizzlies within 20 minutes crawling all over you. You never get away from them.
And
Packs,
you
packs of
keep-
wolves and mountain lions.
All you
and
see is the
fucking,
barbecue flying off the cliff.
Within 2 weeks of all these yuppies going up there and getting mauled, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to start hunting bears again. Oh, why? Is there too many?
Yeah.
Oh, did something
What's the
happen
problem?
that you want to talk about it? Snowflake?
You
Everything okay?
for your issue.
No, and like I say, I get it, man. Nobody wants any species that disappear, but
No,
No,
absolutely
not by any means.
man, you have to understand that we're the only predator that eats bears. There is
Well,
nothing
and
else.
no, and the thing is too. Well, like scavengers leave it if it's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
but,
it's
I
already
mean,
dead, but we're the only ones that actively hunt
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
it doesn't have a predator
No, but
unless
I mean,
it goes in the water where there's a shark.
I know a lot of people don't really think about it this way, but I mean, being the most highly evolved species on the planet, I think it's part of our responsibility to the planet and the other creatures on it to be stewards for those animals, to
Yeah.
help maintain the populations, to make sure that, you know, they have as little fluctuations as possible and they're just a healthy, sustainable species that can maintain their environment and
Yeah,
we can live
and
there with them.
look,
Well, that's the
Yep.
thing. We started messing this place up hundreds of years ago, especially
Yeah.
nature, over hunting, everything else.
we do it just by existing.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
even take away the existing part, like literally, there's been places where things have went out of control. It has been overhunted, overfished. We've made many species
Fixed them.
extinct. Like,
But we
literally,
fixed
we've
it
made-
too.
Yeah, but
Not extinct
more
animals, but yeah.
more modern times we're taking better care of it. But I'm talking about
Yeah.
we already made the mistakes, but this was generations ago.
Yeah.
We can't fix it now by ignoring it.
Yeah.
And pretending like,
No,
oh
exactly.
well, if we just leave
Yeah.
nature alone, it'll take care of itself. It's like, no, we've already done too much damage.
We've already
we
fucked
now
it up.
have to
Yeah.
handle it. We
Yeah,
have to.
but
go
yeah,
there.
that's
We
the
have to
thing.
take care
We've
of it.
caused the problems,
The-
and we're the only ones that are capable of doing anything
The
about
other
it.
thing
That's
is squishy as we are, like physically compared to animals, we're still the apex predator because,
Yeah, of course.
and I'll explain it to you this way for the folks listening at home who think I'm full of shit. We're the only animal in the world that can kill you from 500 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's clear.
Yeah.
A grizzly bear
intelligence.
can't do fuck all to you from 500 yards other
Well,
than
it's
make
funny.
you nervous.
We were just as squishy when we were, back in the Stone Age, living in
Yeah.
caves.
Yeah.
But yet, because we picked up some stones and sticks and could make spears and rudimentary bows and arrows, immediately we became apex predators.
Yeah, we're savages.
All
And
because-
even before that, the Indians used to run buffaloes off cliffs.
yeah, that's
Yep.
true. Well, they still had spears and stuff to poke.
I
them.
know, but still.
That's for meat tenderizing. See, that's multi-purpose
But yes,
killing.
Yeah, but like you're saying, Chris. I mean, yeah, it still comes down to we use our intelligence, whether it's to make a weapon,
Yeah,
or to
exactly.
smart an animal into killing itself.
Your
Like
your
running a
brain
buffalo
is your
cliff.
weapon.
Absolutely.
Right.
Your brain
Like-
is the most advanced weapon on the planet.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the only reason we got so smart is because of our consumption of meat. That's why I laugh at these people that think we should be vegans. If you look at our
Oh, fuck.
the ancestry of humans and right on back through all the different species that we came from, the biggest difference was we started walking on two legs, and then we started to use fire. Once we started to use fire and started to actually cook meat,
Yeah, your
meat
brain
was a lot
evolved.
more digestible, a lot more tasty.
You get the
So we
proteins.
started eating a lot more meat. As
Yeah.
soon as we started eating a lot more meat, our brains just rapidly got
Developed
big.
like crazy.
because you
Because
get
all of a sudden we had all this extra protein in our diet.
Yeah, that we couldn't get
develop
before.
Big brains,
and
and once we developed big brains, it was all downhill.
to anybody who's a vegan, we're not shitting on you for being a vegan. You do your
No,
thing,
not at
whatever
all.
makes you happy.
Eat whatever you
Just
want.
You
shut
can
the
manage to do that in modern times, but
Yeah,
that's not how
and
we evolved.
you do your thing and supplement, make sure you're healthy, but just shut the
Just
fuck
leave
up
everybody
because
else
I
alone,
don't want to
man.
be one. So I don't
Yeah.
want to hear you tell me why I should be. Because
Leave me alone with your vegan tofu.
yes, I have no problem shooting a deer or eating a cow from a fucking farm or any of that stuff. It doesn't bother me.
No.
You know what I mean? But I get it how it can with some people. But just don't preach it. It's
Don't
it's
preach.
It's a bad view.
Nobody preach.
Yeah.
They got lots of churches and shit for that.
Yeah, exactly. Go there.
Yeah.
Well,
So let's
on
stay
that-
away from religion and we'll chop it off.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll end the show. We're at an hour in now. So, all right,
Thanks
folks.
again for showing up, Ed.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for coming on. And
been real.
you can find us on YouTube and all your favorite podcast platforms from Spotify, Apple, Google, all that stuff. Follow us on
Check us
Instagram.
out. Hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with everything that we put out. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We love you.
See you
Good
later,
night.
everybody.
Bye.